All right, welcome to this little section. I am so in love with the idea of using a developer comment that I've decided to upgrade into developer moon. And so we go through the process of spawning a brand new moon, booting it up on the local computer where I'm going to do development, and then I compare and contrast working on an app and developing inside of a live ship that is like connected to the network versus a fake Zod, which is usually where you would start. I just praise the live development process, and in the process of making this new developer moon, we pull down all the apps that I want to work on. We even make some changes in the distribution moon that is actually like propagating those different apps out to everybody else. It was quick and seamless, and the longest process was the hour that I took to pick the right name for the moon. So there we go. This is, I would say, like intermediate for sure. It's like a lot of like terminal stuff. It's very deep in the Urbit world, but I think it should be like approachable. So if you are curious about development, if you want to make an app, or maybe you're curious like, oh, how can I do things better on Urbit than other places? This is a pretty good example of that. I really like working this way. It is by far better than anything else, period. In the period. Yeah, go enjoy it. I'll talk to you later. All right, cool. We're rocking this green long sleeve shirt. More green long sleeve shirt videos. Gotta have them. Well, good afternoon. Right now, the sun is playing nice with us. The gray skies have turned into like a humid stickiness, which makes outside less than pleasant, but right now it's great for videos. It's got this nice like little like bounce effect. So we have nice smooth shadows, and we got pretty decent light, especially thanks to our circle window here. So I have had a long list of videos that I wanted to make, and I need to make shorter, faster videos. So we're just trying to do this in like a marathon session. Like, let's not hold anything back. Let's just do the best of my best ideas right now. Just get them out. Let's do it. That's the desire in these sets of videos. This last one, I had mentioned developers, they won't take their actual like day-to-day Urbit planet, publish things on that. They will spin up a moon, which is like a computer that's like subservient to the planet computer. And that's the thing that'll distribute it. I want to talk through my development process, which as soon as I say that, it's like, oh my gosh, everybody's going to take me way too serious here. But I think maybe at this point, anybody who is a developer has probably already sized up my skill level. They know whether they can ignore me or not. And then anybody who isn't a developer, this will seem kind of intimidating, but like perhaps I can get into why this process is actually like really lovely and better than anything else. So I'm not necessarily like advocating for a certain way of working on Urbit apps, but for my own edification of understanding my process and just kind of getting it out of there. And so it's not just like a note on my computer, but something that I went through. Here we are, the developer process. With this, I think we can showcase like really useful things that you can do in your own little web of Urbits to like make building things really smooth. So it's like the difference between like live development versus fake Zod. So we're here at urbit.org, docs.urbit.org. And let's say we decided to go to courses here. Here's the environment setup. So I hate setting up environment stuff for development. I just hate it. It's so dumb. You gotta get Python, and you gotta get a virtual Python terminal, and you gotta like download all these libraries, and blah, 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 blah. It's Urbit environment development. You still have to go around and grab different things and bring it in. But the number of those things is actually very short. You just need a text editor. You just need to start up an Urbit, so they call it development ship. You need to get the Urbit binary so that in the terminal you can run stuff to get started on the Urbit. And then once you're in the Urbit, you're in the Urbit world, and that's a great thing. They talk about creating a fake ship. This is very standard, as you just make a fake Zod. If you were on the real network, you couldn't boot up a Zod. Zod is like the first or the zeroth. You can't just like boot up a Zod. Like that's a valuable asset that only one person can have. or one entity can have. But locally, you can boot up a fake Zod. When this Zod wakes up, it's going to wake up and be like, okay, I'm the Zod. This is who I am. Great. It's going to be fake because it's not going to be able to connect to the larger Urbit network. It's not real. It's in its own little fantasy network. There's a chasm. You can't talk to the Urbit network over here, but you can build up Zod and any other ship that you want to, and then you can create a little local network that you can build and test things out. There's this like ./Urbit here. This line here is actually ran in an Earth terminal, and it's going to call the Urbit binary. Urbit binary, you call that binary to do things like create that fake Zod, or if you wanted to make a real Urbit, you can have like a key to plug into that Urbit, prove that that's you, boot it up, and then you can be on the actual live network. That's probably what we'll do. Yeah. Do I have the latest binary? So let's do that. I'm on old school Mac x86. Man, this is a nerdy. This is like the new Apple Silicon or whatever. So I'm gonna copy this for my Mac, my standard older kind of Mac OS situation. And let's see, let me get over to developer Urbit here. And I think I also need to get into my ships. And there, wouldn't you know it, I have my Urbit binary file. I also have my developer comment, but there's a fake Zod, there's a fake fun. Anyways, I have copied the C URL. C is command, like command line URL. This is like browser stuff, right? Command line URL, go to urbit.org/install/ the latest of that Mac, old school Mac OS x86. It's going to come back with this thing called Urbit, the Urbit binary, and it's going to unpackage it because it's going to be compressed. You don't have to understand that, but this is the line that you got to put in the terminal to pull in the Urbit binary. And once it runs, it actually tells you some of the things that you'll need to know. I got version 3.0. If you want to use it, .faz urbit will get you going. That's faz, dot and /. Yeah, there's other useful things that you can handle. If you're just going to deal with a ship, like a ship name, then these options are valuable. Notice F for booting a fake ship, which means, disables the networking. We're almost ready to work on an Urbit. We just pulled in the binary, and then I have the option to use it. I can make a fake Zod, but I don't want to do that. One, I already have a fake Zod. I guess we could open it up like Urbit, open up. Yeah. So we can ask Urbit to open up the Zod that I have right here. And MDNS, this is a fake Zod registered on all interfaces. You get the code. Hey, tattoo idea. If you really want to go for this Urbit stuff, this would be a cool tattoo. With the fake Zod, just lid lut, tap wed, pill X, rid rup. Boot me up, baby. Zod for life. But I'm going to bar exit and get out of that local Zod. Let's make bus. Or no, let's make nut. Go. It'll take care of itself and start booting up things. And we'll just let that run. So that's how you do like the standard fake Zod. Nothing wrong with that. But whenever you make your fake Zod, it's like cut off. It's in its own little chasm from like the real, information highway. Emails are being sent back and forth, Amazing things are coming in and coming out. It's just separate. It's just inert. It's just by itself over here. Without this connection, if you have things that you need to make, you got to download it onto your laptop, and then you kind of have to like force feed it into the Zod, and then, Zod, you can kind of build it up and work on it in there. But then like to get it out, you got to like pull it back out of like Zod's like fake world. And then once it's out, then you can like pop it into one of these real guys. And it's kind of a process. That's kind of a lot. Where in contrast, if you got yourself a live little Urbit here, and this is where you're building stuff, well, the thing is, in this scenario, like say you need a bit of code from over here, well, you just pull it in. You just have it hop over, and then you just bring it in. And then if you want it to be out, say you have your moon over here. I guess I'm representing this as you got your planet. Then say you got your moon in the network, and the moon is the distribution moon. Well, because it's already on the network, you just like doop, shoop, and put it there, and now it's ready to go. Totally worth your time. And then now anybody anywhere else in the network, if they're like, oh, I want that, they just go to your moon and they grab it. So you can keep this nice little connection between what you're doing on your local computer, putting it up to the moon or wherever you're putting it. And so it's all in the network. It's all nice and alive, you know, it's like it's connected. I like this process so much that I think I want to upgrade my developer comments to local developer moons. So I'm going to connect to my real planet, and that is right here. Oh, funny, I had the last video's stuff. Fallen Ranrime is my neighbor. Oh, Lantux Navlux, they got breached. Sorry, bud. Lantux Lavlux has sunk. That means forget about them. They could be a totally new person. Yeah. So I'm gonna do this. I'm so enamored with this live development process. I actually want to upgrade to a developer moon. So we're gonna do the moon spawning a new moon process. Moons are child identities issued by planets, stars, and galaxy. The moon is not independent. It is always subordinate to the ship that issued it. By this, we mean that the networking keys from the moon are controlled by the parent and may be altered or revoked at any time by that parent. You can make something like 4 billion moons. So if this is your planet, you could end up having like a Saturn ring of moons. It's not a moon. At this point today, I will have one moon that I randomly created because of Hoon School Live. I'll have my Have This moon, and then whatever we're gonna call this one, whatever we're gonna call this moon. I don't know. I can run bar moon. It's all arguments that are optional. If the ship is not specified, it'll spawn a random moon. If it's specified, it'll spawn that given moon. If spawning a new moon, it will spit out the moon's private key, a long code which looks like something like that. You can copy this and save it in a .key file, then give the key file as an argument to the runtime when booting the moon, like so. So we'll have like urbit, hepw, the moon, sample, and then the key, my moon key. You can also give the runtime the key directly by using the hepg rather than hepk. That'll probably end up being what I'm doing so that I don't have to get too confused about secure copy stuff. So let's pick a moon. Inside of Nordus here, so we are on Nordus. If we just go bar moon, we can write up like any kind of moon name. So we'll have like sample nordus-mocwyl, or it could be kind of like a 4 sample paldev nordus-mocwyl. Let's see what we want to do. The way that I look up what's possible for names, we can let's find a fun name for this. I mean, one is in the base desk. You can go into system. I think Hoon has it. So yeah, this is a less than like fully convenient list of possible Urbit name combinations. There is the prefix syllable and there's the suffix syllable. So we can see while there for like mocwyl, or we'd be able to see dus, I think. Actually, let me write dus. There it is. So nor-dus-mocwyl. Dus and while exist in the suffix, where if I look up nor is there, or mock is up in the prefix section. Okay, so sometimes I just like have a little bit of fun with this. The names are always like consonant, vowel, consonant, so that they're just like one syllable. And you can find some fun things. Let's see. Dev is a suffix, so we could end up doing like any one of these, like das dev, sol dev, mod dev, fog dev, pop dev, rock dev, sick dev. Let's do this. Let's not make this so frustrating or whatever. Let's do this, and we will nail that. Yank. Okay, this will be less jumpy. I want something that'll like spark joy, that'll make me like laugh. You know, right now I have this nordus-mocwyl, which I think is funny. I think it's nice to just have like the 3-word boom, 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 dister nordus-mocwyl, fadneck nordus-mocwyl. There's even like builder nordus-mocwyl, which is like, it's a good. What about buddy? Tell me about bud. Ooh, bud is a suffix, which is nice. It could be batbud nordus-mocwyl. There's also like botbud nordus-mocwyls. Interesting enough. Could be like super into myself. It could be bin, nordus-mocwyl, which is pretty good. I feel like it's a little bit confusing to be like bin dev. It's like, which bin? Is it bin or ben? Birder. Look at that birder right there. Der. You can mortar nordus-mocwyl. Be fog duck. Fog duck. Nordus-mocwyl. They're like a fur. I can do Mac bud, Mac nub, bintech, nordus-mocwyl. These things are like, all right, here I am, an hour into this. It's gonna be quick, he says. The camera just came back on. Here's for sync for the camera. We're still on moon stuff. We're still trying to figure out names, which is dumb. Let's go with this moon shall be called forevermore Forfer nordus-mocwyl. Go. Just for the animals. Just all about the animals. And here we go. This will be super sensitive information. Boop. That moon is spawned. So now this needs to be blurred out. Nobody can see this. If you have this, you could register that moon. Well, I'm going to copy this. We're going to go back to our Urbit binary. And now we have the information we need to tell the Urbit binary, like, hey, I want to make this thing and I have the credentials. I have the credentials. You can actually go and check with nordus-mocwyl that this is correct on the network. And that's going to look like, we ask the Urbit binary. This doesn't have the .faz in front of it, but same thing. We'll say W, which is, if we just run Urbit, we'll be able to see what's going on. W is the name, initial boot as name with ticket. You got to write the ticket down. So I'm going to ask Urbit. I'm going to choose the name, Forfer nordus-mocwyl. And I have not a key, but I'm going to give it a string. That string, totally blurred out. And it's like Urbit binary. I want to boot up this ship. I have credentials. Go see if it's true. Invalid private key. So it seemed like it got it, but it also got the like. Okay, there we go. I think I fixed it. Now it's all on one line. Downloading pill. Yeah. Boot. Home is boot. Verifying keys. Boot. Getting sponsor. Retrieving keys for sponsor nordus-mocwyl and sigpub and galaxy. So this is like important for like the hierarchy of how the Urbit network works. This is a good like example of how it's like, oh, I have a moon here. Now I have like Forfer. I do like it. Forfer is validated. You know it's real as opposed to fake, because if you're anyone else on the Urbit network, the planet verifies that the moon is the moon. You know, it gives it like a nice like thumbs up, you know. I have really bad thumbs up. So the moon is dependent on the planet. And in a similar way, the planet is dependent on the star. So like nordus-mocwyl has a sponsor, sigpub. And so it also has to go through sigpub. And sigpub has a sponsor, which is a galaxy. Moon is under planet. Planet is under stars. Stars are under the galaxies. And that's where the buck ends, is the galaxies. There's that hierarchy built in. We get to test all the way up until you get to a galaxy, and it's like, okay, yeah, we're good. Like this is the source of truth, is these 256 galaxies. Kind of in the end, you just kind of attested authority, kind of proof of authority almost. So it's a neat little example. Such a mess. We got some Arvo metamorphosis, building base, kernel update, installing things. Hey, would you look at that? Pub is your neighbor, nordus-mocwyl is your neighbor, Zod is your neighbor. Activated install on the base from nordus-mocwyl kids. Yeah, I want my base to be up to date with nordus-mocwyl. Oh, shoot. I need my face to be on here. Oopsie. All right. Okay, the camera just came back on for, I don't know, the third segment or whatever. We got a neighbor status. I first saw it because I was in Nordus and I was like, oh, Furfer. Furfer's my neighbor. Great. Now it is Forfer here on my local laptop. This is now my developer moon. And so now it's just like downloading all the updates. So yeah, it's real. It's on the network, right? So now it's on the network and now it's actually getting things from nordus-mocwyl and anything on the, it's alive. Things are floating around. It's like, it's needums. There we go. Hello, Farper. It's growing on me. It's growing on me. All right, so I think we got it. Let's see if we can high our other moon. Have this nordus-mocwyl. There we go. We got a neighbor. So I think we should be live at localhost here. Yeah. So now this is a big deal. Like, this is my secret. You're not allowed to see this code here. Here we are. Awesome. Let's do this. Let's actually do something practical here. So I'm here in my new local developer moon, which I'm very excited about. I want to pull in some of the things that I'm working on. Now that I have my local moon here, to bring it all together, I can go to nordus-mocwyl, who knows about these apps and is promoting them. Let's start with Howdy. Howdy's pretty simple. Like, if I'm going to develop Howdy stuff, or I'm going to develop on Focus, I'm going to need those files. Without the network, I would have had to, not that there's anything wrong with this, but I would have to come over to my file system over here, which, I mean, I do have local versions. Like, I have Focus here. It's like, you know, I mean, it's simple enough. This doesn't come with everything that I would need in the desk. I have to like make a basic desk and then put it in there and like copy it over. But it's like, I don't know, it's not as easy. It's not as easy as installing it. Well, now we got Howdy. So that's pretty awesome. Let's get the other one. Focus. Let's get that up. Last thing, it's not available, but I can go over to Havdis over here. We're going to go into the terminal. And this is worth its own video because these things are this is kind of unique. But instead of publishing it as an app, I can actually make the whole desk of home. So as Havdis, I'm going to make the home desk public. So bar public will make that happen. I can install, installed Focus and Howdy. But then I need to like bar public, bar sync home. So now instead of bar install, I'm actually going to run bar sync Havdis nordus-mocwyl home. And we will see if that works. Nope, it's not happy about that. This is the arguments that it wants. It wants the name of the desk, what ship, and then the name of the desk that we want it in, or maybe the other way around. We'll just keep it simple and say both of the desks are home, the destination, what I'm trying to grab, and where I'm going to write it into my namespace. And there we go. Now I have home, or it's downloading, and that's like. This is really nice. It's a big deal to like be on the network and like throw these things around like this thing. It's a server. I have servers. Oh my gosh. I guess I haven't proved that I can do it the other way, but what I'm trying to do, try to pull down what I want to work on, and then we can like push up changes in a way. Push up changes is going to look like, let's do bar mount Howdy. And now when I go into my ships and I go into Forfer, I have Howdy. So in Howdy, I can make those changes that I wanted to make. Howdy watches the terminal output via DIL. While watching the terminal output seems really useful. Okay. So now I have my like correction of thing that I didn't want before. I can write it and then I can commit it into Howdy. Okay. Mount Howdy. We can make a change. We can bar public Howdy. This one's on all this stuff on Forfer, make public. On Havdis, I have my changes that I made to Howdy. I had committed them. And now as this moon, I can make this public. I'm going to make Howdy public. I also want to show you, if you look at that Howdy, I can actually see the ship that I'm getting it from. The source ship for me is Havdis nordus-mocwyl. So that's what I'm downloading it from. Back over here in Havdis, let's take a look at Howdy. And Howdy is saying, well, the publisher ship is nordus-mocwyl, but you get your updates locally from here, which is to say there is no other source for this ship. It's just going to be ourselves. We can change this by doing sync Howdy to Forfer nordus-mocwyl Howdy. And we're going to begin sync from Howdy from Forfer-mocwyl. Can do that. And then we just got our update from the app, and it is just clicked up. I guess ironically, because I've installed, I'll actually end up getting those. My remote is identical, and so I'm not going to do that. But I don't want that circular whatnot. So I'm going to, I think I can say pause Howdy. And so, sorry to be a little bit confusing, but now I'm back in Forfer, and so now my source ship is just me locally. And if I check the vat for Howdy over here on Havdis, I will find out that now my source is Mocwyl, but it's syncing. So now any changes that I make over here, like this, and then I need to commit Howdy. We go back over to Havdis, like dang, it got there real fast. And I don't think I want that because every time, so now I have my comet. No, it's not a comet anymore. I have my dev moon and it's pushing up things to my like distribution moon. And this sends it out to everyone who wants it. These are all automatic. They just happen automatically. If I leave this connection automatic, then that means like I could be tinkering with things over here and then it'd immediately show up here. I can see that being cool and other ways of making it safe, but for the sake of this, let's just go ahead and unsync Howdy. Okay, unsync Howdy. It's going to be easier if we just toggle up, get to the end here and add unsync. There we go. So now I've canceled my sync. Wipe the board, click back up to do vat Howdy to see that we are now back to just local. Yeah, they got the same hash, if you know about that. Yeah, so that is a process I'm pretty stoked about. I like that process. It's nice to have it here, and then I will just toggle whether I am syncing or unsyncing with the big guy up here. See, now I can like bar mount focus. Now I can come in here, monkey with these things. When I'm ready to send up my changes, I just go over to my distribution moon and say, hey, sync these up. And yeah, merge into home successful. Okay. There we go. I have this fresh new, it literally feels to me like I like ripped open like a new like pack of cards, or you get a new computer or a new phone and you peel off the thing and it's so fresh right from the factory. So good. So fresh, so good. All right. That's it. I'm stoked to have this. I'm so into the idea of like the live development, like actually being on the network where everything is happening. That's pretty nice that like just in this amount of time, we were able to set up our development environment. Now I can open these up in a text editor, work on them, save them, send them up whenever I need to, and that can distribute out to everybody. Distribution, fixed, done. Cool. Like, it's so nice. It's really, really good. It is not that easy in other things. Feel good to have it. Maybe give that a shot, do some live development, and then you're not going to have to copy and paste things all the time. Get things out of that fake hole, fake Zod hole. Okay, bye.